Thank you for hanging in there, but obviously very proud of our players, very proud of our program for showing just a ton of resiliency, toughness, and coming out and really just playing every snap with just a lot of juice, a lot of energy, executing at a higher level. Certainly the value of each snap showed for us today. You know, we didn't turn the ball over, we forced some turnovers. Emory, you know, got the call a little bit later in the week. It was a little bit of a surprise to us. We thought we were okay with Tyler, but couldn't be more proud of a young guy to step in there and do things he did. Early on, the game was a little bit fast, but as he settled in, got better and better. The offensive line, the entire defense, what a performance by those guys. So all in all, a lot of good stuff, some stuff to clean up, and you know, some happy guys in that locker room right there today. And right back to work tomorrow. So questions, please.
Mario, to get to where you ultimately want to get to, how important are nights like this, just in terms of belief and buy-in and rapport and all those things that matter?
Well, you know, I'm sure we all saw the stats how, you know, Clemson's last, I don't know how many games against Miami, the average margin of victory was, what, 39 points or something of that nature. You know, and those guys didn't forget, you know, they scored on us with 16 seconds last year. The clock was winding down too. So I think our guys came out with a lot to prove. I think it shows how much the gap is closed with, you know, one full class, and, you know, a couple of transfers and some player development within the program. So it just, you know, we knew that progress was very tangible. You could see it in our systems working, but to actually go out there and pull through and push through, you know, against a veteran team, it validates a lot, and also it increases our appetite to go get one.
Mario, can you speak to just the way you guys won tonight's game, being out physically this team the way you did, and think about when you played them 9 games ago, and it was obviously a much different ballgame, just the growth maybe that you guys showed tonight in that regard.
Yeah, about a year ago, they, you know, physically they really whooped us. You know, it was a bad day, and you know, obviously our guys have been working hard. There's a lot of personnel enhancements as well up front at the line of scrimmage, and we just took the field with an attitude of not being denied and really committed to making this a slugfest, making this a game of body blows. You know, we talked about, you know, games like this are 15-round heavyweight fights, and rounds 11 through 15 separate, you know. So, just proud of those guys, man. They played hard, they played well, they got it done.
Can you take us, like, Emory's demeanor? How was he during the game, obviously?
That guy's, you wouldn't, you know, that's what he is. That's what he is. He, you know, we knew that this was going to be a tough challenge for him, right? Clemson's an excellent defense. I believe they're first in the conference or whatnot. But the speed of their defense is very challenging. So we figured that early on, there was going to be an adjustment. And you saw we had some batted balls, we had some throws that were a little bit late. The line protected him fairly well. They got there a couple times, hit his arm or whatnot. But as the game went on and on, he just settled in. He's a very urgent guy. Okay, he approaches everything with a ton of urgency. And in camp, he won the confidence of a lot of our players. Our entire quarterback room has. So our players really played hard, you know, for him and for each other. And they were just convicted on not letting him or each other down.
Coach, switching to the other side of the ball, you had another true freshman that put on a fabulous display. Could you talk a little bit about Ruben Bain and just his impact? You know, 2 sacks on the night, really just broke out.
Yeah, you know, he's a game wrecker, is what he is. I mean, you know, so people, when they try to chip him and slide the protection his way and double team and whatnot, but again, it's not only that he's gifted, he just plays the game at a relentless level, like really uncommon. And tonight it showed, you know, against the veteran players. I mean, he was as disruptive as it got. We thought that was a safety. Don't know, you know, I guess we'll, you know, I'll stop there.
Hey, Coach, on that 4th down play, you know, in second overtime at the 1, how were you able to sniff out that play where they were going to the shotgun formation, where your defense made an outstanding play to end it?
Well, you know, every time you study a team down in that part of the field, you feel like you've got a zone, you got to zero in on their library, their menu, and we called the timeout on the down so that we could kind of if we were gonna get that particular formation, we had an answer, but also to get the guys together, round them up, discuss, hey, if we have to change personnel groupings, we'll do this, and we'll make this particular call, and obviously, he's a dangerous quarterback with his feet, he's pulled the ball before to win games. Awesome job by the dive player, and unbelievable job by Corey Flag, unbelievable.
Mario, you talked about obviously Emery being a freshman, the offensive line played great, but you got some great runs from both Cheney and AJ Allen. How important were those two guys tonight?
I think, well, you look at all the guys that ran the ball because, Richard, he breaks that run, but how important is Jacoby George being right behind him, recovering the fumble, right? Because all that could have gone for naught. And then both Cheney and AJ, those guys, they ran hard. I'm talking hard. And you saw some of those plays, the whole stadium knew it. We were calling, right? We knew it, they knew it, you knew it, and still there were some great fits, some great just unlocking of hips and running feet, and then some really bloody, muddy yards. You saw a lot of, I'm sure both teams will be incredibly sore tomorrow because that thing was a legitimate slugfest. And credit to them, they're an excellent team and an excellent offense and defense. And today, the night belongs to us.
Mario, it was an ACC win and at home. What stands out to you from that?
We've been playing really well at home, albeit the end of our last game at home, and we really want to make Hard Rock a really tough place to play, where the Canes will not be denied. And we took another step in that direction today.
Coach, it would seem pretty obvious you guys wanted to protect the ball, but you had a chance maybe with 40 seconds to go to try to get a field goal range. Just the decision-making process there to run it instead of maybe taking a couple throws or whatever.
Well, we felt we could pop a run and get more positive yardage, and maybe get to the 50 or cross it. We could be a little bit more aggressive. They've got a really good pass rush, and they've got an extensive blitz package. And we thought that the way we were controlling the line of scrimmage, the risk-reward side favored us taking the game in overtime.
Coach, this is your first win against an ACC opponent at home. How does it feel to get that monkey off your back, or is that something you think about at all?
Never thought of it that way.
Protecting the football, big point of emphasis considering the way the last two games went.
No doubt, and the ultimate difference, right? If you look at all the stat lines across the country today, you probably see 90% of the games go to the ones that protect the ball better. We have been, I don't know if careless is the right word, it ends up being carelessness, right? But that falls on all of us, and the amount of emphasis on it tonight, it paid off. And we talked about it there, look, we got good people, we got good players, we got good systems, we're growing, we're learning, we're developing, but all that stuff's got to show up on the field on game day, Because if we go out and we turn it over like we have, it's what's going to show, not the result that we want. So it was really, we were fired up to get those results actually on the field, as opposed to talking about it again and again and again. So I love answering those questions about drill work for turnovers.
Mario, how do you manage? Emery. Some of this is all new to him, obviously,
Right.
still, but needing to score late in the game. So kind of managing that balance between letting him throw, not letting him throw, all of that stuff.
No, this was the biggest game of cat and mouse I've ever witnessed a coordinator have to call. If you can see the dynamic behind the decision making by Coach Dawson, his dialogue with the coaches, and then deciding on what play to call, it was incredible because it is very difficult. We were not getting a ton of separation on the back end, and we had a couple of miscommunications, right? That interception was a post ball that we weren't on the same page, and that's what, to the point of the late in the game decision, you don't want that, even worse, a sack fumble. So when he saw his comfort growing, when he saw him just being more and more just really comfortable with the whole thing, he started increasing his I would say, risk taking. Well, we did take shots early. We weren't hitting them. We did so, and they weren't working out. We weren't getting separation, but the line protected well. I don't know what the stat line was on that stuff, on sacks and quarterback hurries or whatnot, but just really proud of this football team, man. It's all them. All credit goes to them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
How's Tyler doing?
Tyler's doing well. He was good to go. So I did not lie to you. Okay, early in the week he was good to go, and middle late of the week it flared up and caught us off guard. And it was the right thing to play him because he was getting most of the reps. But he's good. I feel like he's ready to go. next week, but I'll hold comment on that until we get back to the training room so I can give you a more accurate data.
Awesome.
Okay? Thank you guys. Go Kings.